Finally, we have some announcements. We're getting some product. In Warhammer's Sunday preview this week, we have finally had some announcements for that Middle-earth product that we've just been waiting for so long. Over 6 months into the new edition, and we're just getting the 3rd Armies book and the match play guide. Gonna say better late than never, I just can't wait to get them into my hands. It's quite interesting because they're actually only doing a 1-week pre-order for these when it's usually a couple, so it means they're trying to get these out as soon as possible. But it's not just the books. We do also have a few other releases coming as well. But that is of course the Hera, Daughter of Helm model, Prince Imrahill, which I am definitely getting one of myself, Damroth Dice, which perhaps is the one that we maybe assumed could have happened, but I don't believe they actually announced it, Beachbone, the new Bolg, and Corsairs of Umbar. And along with that, there's actually a whole returning to Middle-earth section, meaning that there's a bunch of miniatures coming back to our shelves, as they put it. And this kind of means that perhaps there's less made-to-order stuff in the future, and more stuff generally available for any point, which is great for people getting into the game again. It was always frustrating to have so much stuff out of stock if you wanted to try a new army. So if they're bringing more stuff to be consistently in stock, I think that is a really good move. It's going to be things like Cave Drakes, Corsairs of Umbar, more of the Dwarven items, Ballistas. We will go through those in a moment, but yeah, I think it is a really good sign. And honestly, I'm just so happy to finally have this news that we've got a date. It's only a couple of weeks away. It's a shame it's missing our tournament, Shadow and Flame, but at the same time, it's going to be there for the rest of the year now, and I really think that is such a positive thing for the game. So let's have a look at the announcement, go through the article, and kind of just see what was said. Let's start off with the 3rd book, the Armies of Middle-earth, the one that so many people have been sat around waiting for the last 6 months, because it means that they just haven't been able to play their army in the new edition. There's been no rules, there's been no help, no support. They've just been gathering dust. Well, the book has said, assemble mighty legions from across the vast expanse of Middle-earth with the new Armies of Middle-earth supplement, containing 130 unit entry profiles and 28 army lists for the Middle-earth strategy battle game. 28 new armies coming to the game is going to be such a good thing for it. We were starting to see a few meta lists creeping into tournaments, a few things winning consistently, and hopefully this will really shake things up and make this game a very balanced one overall. This expansive supplement updates a huge variety of classic miniatures for the new edition of the game and can be used alongside the Armies of the Lord of the Rings and Armies of the Hobbit supplements to further expand your list building options. It, of course, will be available in physical and digital editions. Like I've said, this is what we've been waiting for. I'm kind of amazed they put all this out at once, but so long as we're getting this and the match play guide as well, I think it's great. But talking about the match play guide, we also have this. Engage in exciting balanced games and learn to run and partake in Middle-earth strategy battle game events with the new matched play guide. This essential companion to competitive match play events contains 24 scenarios, 6 of them brand new, designed to challenge beginners and veterans alike, with ample guidance for tournament organisers and casual players when running campaigns, doubles events, teams events, and more. What's more, there are 6 additional double scenarios to play through for some of the bigger battles in the setting. Again, available in a physical softback and digital EPUB editions. I honestly think this is much needed for the game as well. The 6 scenarios are fine, there's nothing wrong with them, but I do think we need a bit more variety to it. We've talked about on the channel before, I think there are actually further ways to enhance the game if you add a few more changing things to each scenario if it was possible, kind of a bit more like 40k. However, that's not looking like it's coming to the game yet, so at least getting 24 scenarios overall is a very good thing. It just brings up a bit more variety, and when you go to tournaments and stuff, you kind of, it's a lot harder to guess what you're going to be playing, which is a major thing. At the moment, certain armies can win certain things quite easily because there's so few scenarios to pick from. I think this will just be really good for the game going forwards. And moving on from that, we are finally getting the Hera model that they announced months and months and months ago. It's about time. Hera is the headstrong princess of Rohan during the War of the Rohirrim movie, and now joins the Middle-earth strategy battle game in the garb of her initial appearance as part of the Army of Edoras army list. This new plastic miniature is featured both unmounted and riding her steed Ashir, and is among the swiftest of Rohan's riders with the ability to boost her attacks when fighting a single opponent. I will admit this is a model I'm not going to really use, this isn't an army list I'm that interested in, but because we've been waiting so long for it, I'm glad it's finally out. So now, hopefully they can start announcing some more stuff and make these releases more consistent. It's been one of those ones sat in the background, lurking there that we've known about. It's just been about time that it's out. And up next is one of my personal favourites and an army I'm definitely going to be doing. We have Prince Imrahill of Damroth. None embody the ancient valour and honour of Gondor quite like Prince Imrahill, leader of the Swan Knights of Damroth and half-brother to Denethor. His charge from the gates of Minas Tirith helped to bring the Battle of the Pelennor Fields to its ultimate end, and now his immense martial skill will be yours to command with a new plastic miniature depicting him fighting both on foot and mounted on horseback. Like I've said, this is one for me. I really want a fiefdoms kind of army. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to work that yet, but I definitely want to run Prince Imrahill in a list somewhere. And along with that release, as it feels like they are kind of pushing the Damroth stuff a little bit more, we're getting some Damroth Dice. I'm a bit of a sucker for dice, I love them, I think they look great. A lot of people aren't happy they're the curved corners. Personally, they're not my favourite either, but I still think they look stunning, and I'm never going to say no to some dice. They look great, as it says, accompany your regal Swan Knights with 8 equally resplendent dice cast in pearlescent blue plastic with white pips and the icon of Damroth on the 6th face. Along with that, we also have had Beachbone coming up. This is an absolutely stunning model, and although I've never played Ents, it's definitely, I think, a sign to start them. Though he may be best known for being set on fire during the Ents assault on Isengard, Beachbone is just as much of a powerful combatant as the rest of his kin, and harbours an intense hatred for orcs and goblins of all kinds. This towering Forge World resin miniature is a durable and deadly addition to your Fangorn Forest army, able to hurl giant boulders across the battlefield and bludgeon enemies to death with their fellows. Now obviously the thing a lot of people won't like about this is it is Forge World resin, meaning it's expensive, also meaning it's unlikely to be that available from your local stores. From our experience, we don't get any kind of seller discount on those, so they're unlikely to be stocked, although they will be online only available to order. Like I said, I think this model is actually a really, really good one. It looks stunning. In fact, all the new stuff does look really good, and it's a bit of variety, I guess. However, I don't know how many people are actually going to end up with this one. On from that, we have the new Bolg miniature. This was one of those when it was announced, it was kind of like a, what on earth are you doing, GW? Of all the things we want to come out and you're re-releasing a Bolg. Okay, yes, it needed a new base for this edition. They wanted to kind of update all of that, but to give it its own announcement. I think the way they've done this with the release, having it part of a bigger one, definitely works better for this kind of thing. And hopefully if they're going to re-release older stuff like this, they do it alongside newer stuff as well. But yeah, there's not an awful lot else to say about him because you could technically just rebase your old one. And moving on from him, we had the Corsairs of Umbar Ballista also announced. This is a list that looks like it could be a bit of fun. It's one that tended to get allied in a lot in the old edition rather than being ran solely as an Umbar list. Perhaps that's something that's going to change in this edition. Maybe they're going to become quite good, fun, just something different for people to run. It is quite interesting that the ballistas are a big part of this. Maybe this is some kind of anti-eagle counter. They're trying to get rid of that meta. I guess we'll just have to wait and see on that one. It says every Umbar raiding ship is lined with rows of deadly ballistas designed to be uprooted from their decks and carried onto land when the Corsairs begin their raids against Gondor's coastal settlements. The heavy-bladed bolts hurled by these siege weapons can pierce heavy armor with ease and smash right through barricades, and each Forge World resin ballista is accompanied by 3 Corsair crew. Again, Forge World is the words that a lot of people don't like to see because it just makes it harder to get and more expensive more than anything. I guess we'll see in time how well these ones will sell. Then along with that, let's talk again about those returning miniatures, and hopefully this is the sign that stuff's going to be more available consistently on the website, as that's what Middle-earth really needs. Returning Middle-earth miniatures, we have loads of classic Middle-earth strategy battle game miniatures returning to the shelves to accompany the arrival of the Armies of Middle-earth book, starting with the pack of 3 metal and resin Lords of Umbar and the metal bosun and captain set for Corsair armies. They're backed up by a set of 3 metal Corsairs of Umbar crossbowmen, while in the shadows 3 metal Black Númenórean warriors strike fear into their enemies' hearts. So there aren't many of these, but it's at least something, and very much pointing towards those Corsairs army lists really. It's quite interesting to see. However, that is not all. War over the depths of Moria, with the terrifying Resin Dragon and Cave Drake available to Moria and the Dragons of the North armies, with the Metal Goblin commanders Durbers and Druzhag marshalling their hordes in the Dragon's wake. Against them stands 3 Metal Khazad-dûm Dwarven commanders, 1 captain, 1 Warhorn bearer, and 1 banner bearer, and a Resin Khazad-dûm Dwarven ballista with 2 crew. And along with them, the Metal Beregond Guard of the Citadel mans the walls to defend Minas Tirith, accompanied by a Resin Gondor Avenger Bolt Thrower. Finally, the Metal Roses of the Druidan Forest set collects 15 Roses warriors split across 3 different designs, with Garnbury Garn, a hero of valor, and the leader of the secretive forest-dwelling people. So like I said, there's not tons and tons of these, but I think it is a nice, good spread. I really want to see some Dwarven love in this, those older ones, not the Hobbit ones as much. The fact we're getting this Dragons of the North list as well makes me really excited. I really hope it's a viable list. It's not just fun to play, but can actually win some games. And that with all these ballistas and I guess even Dale's anti-dragon kind of role, that they're not going to just fall flat on their faces. All in all, I think this is a good announcement. I'm just so glad we finally got the book, we finally got the match play scenario. And to be honest, I just want to hear from all of you now. What parts of these are you looking forward to most? Are you happy with the amount of stuff they've actually announced in this in one go? There was that fear they were going to be doing one thing every month, one thing every couple of weeks at a push. The fact we've had all of these in one article is kind of huge and, to me at least, a bit unexpected. But what do you all think? Let me know your thoughts and opinions on all of this down in the comments below. Let's get the chat going. What armies are you going to want to run? Like I've said, Dragons and Fiefdoms are where I'm heading at the moment, so I can't wait for these to come out. But what are you planning on doing? And with that, thank you for sticking with me today. Obviously, I've been on my own. Jake is away on a sunny holiday, so this has been a little bit different than our usual podcast style video talking about the news, because of course they had to announce it when he wasn't here. But with that, thank you for spending your time with me today, and I will see you next time on the Tabletop Alliance.